Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. The show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire to Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. I am your host, Jessie Brown, and I am pumped up to be jumping on the microphone with you all for episode number 138. Each time I introduce an episode and we climb in numbers, it always just amazes me at how quick it seems we're growing. I just had a memory show up on my Facebook the other day, and it was me recording episode number 37 through 40, and that was a trip to look at because that feels like not that long ago. So I don't know if anybody else feels like time has just been the weirdest concept lately. It feels like some days go by like this, other days seem so robotic, but anyways, I am just so excited that we are here, 138. We are not slowing down. 2 episodes a week is what I have committed to, and I will continue to commit to for each and every one of you. I might eventually change the days of the week in which episodes come out. I'm feeling like a Monday would be a nice way to start our week instead of Tuesday. Stay tuned for that, but there might be a little shift in the days of the weeks in which my episodes come out, which is all a part of the rebranding, repackaging that I am working on behind the scenes right now. We are doing that actively. So for today, we are talking about something that I am very, very, very excited to talk about. So anybody who knows me knows that I am obsessed with interior design. I am obsessed with home maximization. I am obsessed with design. Anything to do with maximizing your space, I am obsessed with. It is a part of me that I feel I keep kind of behind the scenes. But because it's such a passion of mine, I'm like, how can I utilize that strength and passion of mine and bring it into the other things that I am doing? Anybody who also knows me well knows that I'm very growth focused, very growth oriented. So I'm like, bada boom, bada bing. Why don't we talk about home optimization meets growth and let you guys know ways that you can optimize your space for success. So anybody who comes over to my house, they always leave by saying, or even when they walk into my house, there's a couple things I hear people say. One, it's your house always smells good. 2, it's everything is so clean and organized and you're so good at decorating. And although I love these compliments so much because they speak to my value, which is interior design, home decor, everything I just said, the reason that it means so much to me is because I know that they are noticing things that I do intentionally behind the scenes. So a lot of people, before they have company over, will frantically clean their house, organize their space, put everything away, put on a persona that their home is this optimized space, when in reality, week to week, it's not. I consider myself and pat myself on the back in a way in which my home always, I have a standard of what my home needs to look like, what my space needs to look like at all times. So you could show up pretty much anytime, it will most likely look the same. This has been built through merit, through systems, through trial and error, and through passion. And so I wanted to share with you guys today 10 ways that you guys can optimize your space in a tangible way. And I do just want to preface, I live by myself. I don't have kids. I get to work from home quite often, so I know that I have the luxury in some ways that other people don't. However, we all have the same amount of time in a day. I am also someone who's very busy, but it has been through these 10 ways that I have been able to be proactive and sustain having my house optimized. So some of these things might take a little bit more work up front to play catch up, if you will, but I can pretty much guarantee you that doing these 10 things will allow you to just feel more flow in your space. We often hear that quote of your space is a representation of who you are as a person. what your room is like is a representation of what's going on in your mind. If your space is chaotic, your life is likely chaotic. And so if we can start by having visual cues that are organized and set up for success, we are that much more likely to be calm, in flow, and setting ourselves up for success. So without further ado, let's dive into 10 ways that you can optimize your home, your space, your office, whatever it is, for success. The first one on my list, which this would be our home in general, and this sounds so silly and so simple, but it is very, very powerful. And that is to make your bed first thing in the morning. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I walk over to my window, I let the sun hit my face, I take a deep breath, and then I make my bed. That is the first 5 minutes of my day every single morning without missing a beat. Multiple reasons for this. And I have made my bed in the morning as long as I can remember. I don't know if there's ever been a time in my life that I haven't done this. So this is a practice that you haven't done before. It might take reminding yourself to do it. But when we make our bed, it benefits the beginning of our day and the end of our day. It's a win-win. So we're starting off our day with momentum by checking off a to-do right away. We are setting our room up to be clean in a space that, appears to have its shit together in a way. We are building momentum to then go do the next thing. Because oftentimes when we just wake up, we stumble out of bed, we don't really have a routine, we kind of go, make coffee, stumble into our office, whatever it is. Intentionally waking up and starting our day with an intention trickles so much into the rest of our day and what that's going to look like. Not to mention that then when you go to sleep at night, you're going into an already made bed. There's nothing worse than when you're tired at the end of the night and you have to frantically make your bed or get your stuff out of the dryer or fix the sheets. It is such a form of self-care as well to just be able to jump into a nice made, pristine bed, if you will. So that is the first way that you can really optimize your space, but also your life and your mind and momentum for the rest of your day, is to start by making your bed. There has been so many studies done on this, and I encourage you to kind of check them out. It's quite interesting, of the benefits of starting your day in that way, intentionally starting your day. Okay, the next one is one that we're all guilty of with this one, but I want you to work on decreasing distractions, visual cues in your space. What do I mean by this? Phone notifications going off left, right, and center. Laptop notifications going off left, right, and center. Having a million unread things in your mailbox. Having junk food out on your cupboard. Having alcohol in eyesight. Anything that could derail your focus, that's going to take your mind somewhere else, that's going to make you less, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Anything that is going to make you less productive. That's the word I was trying to think of. I encourage you to hide it, to minimize it, to get rid of it, to limit your time doing it. The reason this one is so huge is because when our mind sees a cue, it focuses on it. This is how the cycle of habits starts. It starts with a cue. The cue then leads into an action, which leads into a habit. And so if you are trying to optimize your health, for example, and you just have bags of chips out visually, you're so much more likely to want to eat them. If you have alcohol visually in the fridge, nice and cold, you're more likely to grab it. Creating resistance between the things that you desire but know aren't optimizing your life is the best way that we can limit our interactions with them. I encourage you to ask yourself what your specific goals are. And even if you don't have a goal around it, me, for example, I rarely have alcohol in the house. There's wine above my fridge, but I'm not really a drinker, so I'm okay with it being there. But there's certain foods that I know if I have them in the house, I know that I need to put them where I can't see them. There's certain things that we all have that cue our brain to go off walls, to go off the rails, to go off walls, that makes no sense, to go off the rails, to distract us. The more that you can decrease distractions in your space, the more optimized your life is going to be. because like I said, that one thing is going to lead to the next behavior, which is going to lead to the next behavior. If you want to limit time spent in unaligned places, limit them, don't bring them into your space, hide them, create resistance between you and that thing. I've heard some people say, I hide my TV remote in the attic, or I hide it somewheres in the garage, so there's more necessity between being able to just sit down and turn on the TV. When we create resistance, we're less likely to jump in. But if everything is just at eye's view or in hand's reach, we are so much more likely to cave in and to end up going backwards with our goals. Which leads into number 3 very, very nicely, which is to increase positive cues. Increase the cues that are going to trigger a positive association with the person that you're trying to become. So your goals. So for example, I always have my yoga mat somewhere that I can see it. I always like to have a water bottle, tangible, always beside me so I know that I'm drinking water. I like to have healthy food cut up and ready to go so I can just grab it. If I have those things ready and I set myself up for success in that way, there's so much more necessity to choose, I don't want to say the right thing, but the more optimal choice. When we're faced with 2 decisions and one of them is more convenient, we're gonna pick the one that's more convenient 9 times out of 10. That's just human design. We like things that are quick and easy and accessible. We don't like when we have to do a lot of work. And so if we're able to be proactive in a way, Sundays is my favorite day to set myself up for success for the week by getting groceries, by preparing things, by cutting them up, by having them in containers, having things just ready to go. So there's less necessity for me to go off the walls. I keep saying go off the walls. Is that even a sentence? Did I just come up with that in the moment? Also, you guys, my chair is like the loudest thing in the world. So if you guys can hear it, I'm going to go get a new office chair soon because this is just also not maximizing. I have a heating pad behind my back right now. My back is killing me. And so it's time for a new office chair. So if you've been hearing that squeakity deakity in the background, that's my annoying chair. So we're working on that. I apologize. Another part of home optimization. But that's number 3, increasing your goal cues. What are the things that will set you up for success? Maybe it's taking out workout clothes the night before and having them so you see them. Maybe it is preparing food. Maybe it's having that yoga mat out. Maybe it's having your weights out. Maybe it's having a book on your nightstand, having your journal beside your bed with a pen so it's more accessible. We are not likely going to get out of bed once we've gotten in to go get a book, to go get our journal. So if we have those things already set up in a way that makes our life easier and is optimizing our space, we're that much more likely to do it. Again, these are the things that we have to be a little more proactive in the beginning, but eventually they will just become your norm. They will just seem effortless after a while. But are the right cues in the right places and are the wrong cues in the wrong places? We have to be able to look at our space and see and assess that for ourselves because all of our homes are different. That's going to look different for all of us. So that is number 3. Number 4, be as proactive as possible. I cannot stress enough the importance of cleaning up behind yourself. This is one of the main things we're taught as kids, clean up behind yourself, but so many of us don't do this. We're so good at saying, I'll do it later. I don't want to. It's been a long day. And you guys, I get it. But the more proactive we are in keeping up with things, the less overwhelming it becomes, the less it's going to pile up. But if we just keep pushing everything, inevitably we're going to have to do it. We are creatures of not doing things until there's enough necessity to take action. My area of guilt for this is laundry. I hate doing laundry. I hate it so much. Not really doing the laundry, like putting it in the washer, putting it in the dryer, piece of cake. It's the then putting it away that for some reason I just hate so much. So I've had to build a relationship with myself of saying every time the dryer is done, I fold what's in the dryer and I put it away. Whereas before, I would leave stuff in the dryer for like a week, put another load of laundry on, take what's in the laundry, put it on the floor, then put more stuff in the dryer, and then I just kept getting these piles of clean laundry. I couldn't find anything. Nothing was where I needed it to be. And so I had to deal with all of that, which took hours. But now that I set myself up for success, I refuse to go back to that old pattern. And we all say that, right? We're like, okay, it's all done now. I'm not going to let it happen again. Making a list for your home of to-dos on like maybe Monday is laundry, Tuesday is cleaning the fridge, Wednesday is optimizing your space. Like whatever it is, find a system that works for you and sustain it. If you have kids in your house, a husband, a wife, whatever, a partner in your space, working together with this is going to make your life a lot easier. Again, I live by myself, so I can only speak on how I treat my space. It can be challenging when we have other family members in the house who might not be on the same page. Being able to express this and be on a team is going to be so helpful. So being as proactive as possible, cleaning up behind you daily. Maybe it's assigning people certain tasks like, hey, my daughter's on laundry, my son is on dishes, I am on dinner, my husband's on lawn work. Assigning tasks. We got to normalize that we all have a responsibility to play in the home and optimizing a space. And the thing is we all start to feel that overwhelm when our space is chaotic, when things are everywhere. That affects us so much mentally. That can affect our workload, that can affect our productivity, that can affect our mental well-being. A clean space and an organized space is a calm mind. There is so much research and evidence that backs this up, that when our space is efficient and effective and has good light and is clean and is maintained, we feel a lot better and energetically good in that space. So that is number 4, is to try to be as proactive as possible. Again, this might take some work up front, but I promise you, you will thank yourself for it. Number 5, this is a new practice that I started doing in the last year, and that is to get rid of anything no longer serving you. And my way of doing this is to always have a donation bin or bag on the go. Whenever I try on a piece of clothing and I'm like, oh, I don't like how this looks on me, instead of hanging it back up for a day that is never going to come that I'm going to want to wear it, I throw it in the bag and I get rid of it. We're so good at holding on to stuff. You guys, look at our world. We have an abundance of stuff. We will never not have access to stuff. If something is not serving you or you are just holding on to it just because, get rid of it. Let it go. Again, I am so guilty of this. I hold on to stuff just because all the time. Last month was like purge city in my apartment. I got rid of probably 20 bags of clothes, so much stuff from my attic. I have a pile of stuff that I'm waiting to have a yard sale for, of just shit that I've held on to that I'm like, might need it someday. I've been here for 2 years and I've never needed it. I'm probably never gonna need it. I guarantee you, if you walked around your house and said, I'm just going to find 5 things that I don't need anymore, it would be quite easy to do. That's a good practice to do. Grab a box and go walk around your house. Get rid of 5 things no longer serving you. Do this often. Every time you see something, you try something on, whatever, and you're like, I don't really need this, put it in the donation box. Have a box that you can go to. I encourage you, if you're going to use a bag, use a black bag, because if it's clear and we see it, we're more likely to take it back out because we have an association and we build a relationship with our things and we have a hard time letting them go. So if you can set yourself up a system where you can't see the things, out of sight, out of mind, that is going to be most optimal. I've noticed anytime I've used a clear bag for clothes, when it's time to get rid of them, I'm like, oh, but I love that shirt. Oh, I love that sweater. Like, it has this one memory, so I'm going to keep it even though I never wear it and I hate it and it's ugly. God, like, we're so good at keeping stuff just to keep stuff. Right now I'm even like analyzing my space, like, what can I get rid of? Luckily, this room I've pretty much purged over and there's not much in here. This room actually is very echoey, which is not ideal for podcasting, so we're working on that. But it felt so good to get rid of so much stuff. It feels really, really good to get rid of things that aren't serving you, knowing that new things are going to come in. We're always going to bring in new stuff. People are always going to give us stuff. It's like we're just creatures of materialistic things. Trust me, love, you're not going to go without, so get rid of the shit that's not serving you. Okay, number 6, and I talked about this one a little bit with increasing your visual cues. That is to prep your food, have healthy options ready. I truly believe one of the main reasons why we end up reverting to junk food late at night, there's so many reasons for this. This is also emotional and hormonal and all this stuff, but a huge reason is because we don't have anything healthy prepared. And we're like, ew, I don't want an apple. I'd rather have chocolate. Like, why would I have an apple? But if we could make ourselves something yummy that is healthy that we can have ready for late at night, that is going to help keep you on track. That is going to optimize your sleep, your next day. We are more likely to fall off the wagon late at night than we are at any other time of the day. So if we can set ourselves up throughout the day for the evening, we're going to thank ourselves so much more. I've noticed myself guilty of this, where if I don't have myself something made, like a sweet or just something good, I'm going to reach for something that isn't healthy, which again, I'm not perfect and we're allowed to have things every now and again, but the cycle starts to continue because it feels really good when we eat junk food. That dopamine hit, it's something that we're all addicted to more than the actual food itself. It's the feeling associated with it. So if we can set ourselves up with having healthy, nutritious stuff that's going to make us feel good while also giving us that little dopamine hit, it's a win-win, right? So number 6 of how to optimize your space is to prepare your food and have healthy options. I don't know what's going on today, if it's the sunshine, if it's my energy. I am so excited and ahead of my thoughts that I don't know. You guys, I'm going to review this episode and be like, were you okay? We're good. We're just really excited and in flow. But prepare your food, guys, and have healthy things on hand, ready to go as best as possible. You guys, healthy, nutritious food does not have to be gross. I started making avocado pudding this week. Oh my God, it's changed my life. It's changed my life. It's so good. If you're someone who loves, this is such a side tangent, but if you're someone who loves chocolate or pudding or you get that sweet tooth, I'm telling you, avocado pudding, shameless plug, is so freaking good. And I know that probably sounds so like bullshit, but it's so good. So if you get anything out of this episode, go try avocado pudding. That's my truth. Okay. Anyways, number 7. Mentioned this already a little bit, but use a water bottle. My sister-in-law came upstairs yesterday and she was like, I was like, can I get you something to drink? Can I get you anything? She's like, I'll just have some water. And I had to literally dig for a glass because I only use a water bottle. I've been using this cup because my water bottle, I just washed it, but 2 reasons, multiple reasons. It's convenient. You can measure how much you're drinking. You're likely to drink more of it because you have it with you. I'd like to look up the statistics of this or the numbers of this, but you're so much more likely to drink water when you have it with you in a bottle. Think about those times you go out and about and you have a water bottle with you. You'll just casually take a sip because also that's like a protector thing. We do that when we're anxious or when we're trying to like calm our nervous system. We'll just drink water, which is interesting. But when we have a bottle with us, we are so much more likely to drink it. And so although this isn't really optimizing our space, it is in a way because it's optimizing how we're showing up. Having a physical water bottle with you that is going to cue to your brain to drink water is so much more beneficial than just having a glass in the cupboard and water in the sink. Having a water bottle with you will change your life, and I guarantee you will increase how much water you consume in the run of the day. Okay, number 8. This one might take time in the beginning, and I know because I did it last month and it took me a couple weeks and it was hell and I hated it, but now I'm so grateful I did it. Organize your drawers in your cupboards so that you can see everything. Your fridge, your freezer. I am so guilty of just like throwing stuff in, slamming the door, out of sight, out of mind, and then when I go to want something, it's frustrating, it's annoying, stuff goes bad, I can't find it, I don't know where it is. I listened to a podcast a couple weeks ago. It was a Mel Robbins podcast and she had a guest on and it was kind of about this, I don't remember the exact title. It was something to do with home optimizing, minimizing your life was kind of what it was about. And I don't remember the guest's name, but she basically shared, if you can't think of something and know exactly where it is, that's not good. If you don't know exactly where your things are, they're not in an optimal space. Organizing your drawer so you can see what you have also just allows your brain to be like, whoa. It's like when you go to a store and everything is just organized. You're like, I could shop here for hours. But then you go into other stores and the hangers are all over themselves and stuff is everywhere and stuff is thrown and you're like, honestly, I don't even want to be in here. This is too chaotic. I can't think. Yet our homes, a lot of the time, are exactly that. There is stuff everywhere. Stuff's willy-nilly. Stuff's just thrown in. We don't really optimize it. taking time, my favorite thing to do is to just like empty out a drawer and then refill it back out, but like nicely. It is satisfying as hell when it's complete. You feel so much better when you open a drawer and you're not like shoving stuff in to try to get it open. You can see everything, you know exactly what you have. I cannot stress this one enough of also just how it feels so good when you open something and it's just clean and crisp and organized. It's the best feeling. That might just be me because I'm weird and my OCD loves when things are just like organized and perfect, but organize it so that you can see everything. And especially your fridge, this is going to be a huge one. Don't have so much stuff that you don't even know what you have. That is so overwhelming for our mind. Number 9, have items out and around your space that make you happy. I have so many just little things around my space. Like for example, if you're watching video, I'm showing my little wiener dog stretchy stress ball thing here right now. This is such a quirky little thing, but it makes me so happy when I look at it. It's also practical. I use this all the time. Have little things around your space that are a representation of you and the things that make you happy. I have so many things behind me and above me that make me super happy. My favorite books, my favorite journals, my favorite awards, my favorite memories, my paintings, things that cue happy memories to my brain. Your space in your home is supposed to be a reflection of you and who you are. Don't be shy or ashamed or hold back in filling it with things that make you you and are a reflection of you. Not only does it bring you joy, but it should feel good. Your home should feel good. When you walk in, it should feel like yours and you, and like you can be yourself in it. A great way that we can do this is by having pictures that we love, by having plants we love, by having just things that we love that cue to our brain joy. If our space is just not really set up and we haven't really moved in and there's not really an association with it, we're going to have a harder time feeling at home in that space. And so again, I know that we're at different chapters of our life and we might be at different places, and that's okay, but having just a couple things that are so you is going to be huge in your space. And last but not least, assign each room, space in your house, in your apartment, wherever you are in your room, with a purpose. So what I mean by this is I will never work from my bedroom. My bedroom is where I sleep. That is where I rest. That is its purpose and intention. I will never sleep in my office. So being able to assign each room with a purpose also allows you to be intentional about what that space is for. When we just have things everywhere and we're not able to accurately assess what space is for what, our brain begins to feel really disorganized and overwhelmed. I think a lot of us experienced this during the pandemic, and if you shifted to working from home, where we were having a hard time deciphering our bedroom from our office, and our office from our kitchen, and our workspace from our living room, and like, when am I in work mode, when am I in rest mode? A huge part of home optimization is being able to switch into different needs depending what part of your house you're in. When I'm in my office, I'm in a completely different energetic headspace than I am when I'm sitting on my couch in my living room. I have it designed in that way. That's why I have all my books in here. I have all my learning material in here. I have a whiteboard in here, a calendar in here. I don't have my calendar in my bedroom because I don't want that cue and that stress when I'm going to bed to be thinking about work. Everything in my bedroom is very relaxing and calming and me. And so where in your house are things maybe not in the right place? Do you have too many things that maybe are just overwhelming your space that you need to get rid of? Less really is more. We have so much stuff, so much just things that aren't serving us that maybe did at one point in time or another. Minimal is the way to be. I am definitely on like a spectrum of minimal or hoarder vibes. I would consider myself pretty much at 5, which is where we want to be, kind of centered, but I'm leaning more towards being more minimal, getting rid of more stuff. If you walk in a space, do you feel like you can take a deep breath, or does it feel heavy? Do you feel like you're suppressed, or do you feel like you can relax? Only you know the energy of your house and how you want to feel in it, but these are 10 ways that I have really been able to maximize and optimize my space, so I'm able to show up as the best version of myself. I'm able to sleep as best as possible. I'm able to have people over and host as best as possible, and to be able to just show up as the best version of myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, 10 ways that you can optimize your space. I'd be super curious to know which one of these maybe you're really good at, which one of these you struggle with, where you're kind of at with optimizing your space, because it's not something we're taught in school. It's not something we're taught how to do. I think we all just kind of figure it out, and our homes are a reflection of ourselves, but making sure that they are actually optimizing your life, the person you're trying to be, and your goals that you have set for yourself. So thank you guys so much as always for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I look forward to chatting with you all next week, and I hope you have the most incredible day ever. All the love, you guys. Chat soon. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at Jessie Brown 13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.